This is the third in our series of 5 videos covering debt collection agencies and how best to handle them. And this one talks about securing your communications. And it's important to understand at the start that the authorities will do nothing about criminal harassment no matter how bad it gets. And harassment of debtors is covered in the Office of Fair Trading Debt Collection Guidance, which of course the very word guidance says it all. It's not law that's ever going to get enforced. Trading standards departments just turn a blind eye to the conduct of these businesses. And of course there is a criminal law, the Protection from Harassment Act 1997, which again is never enforced. So basically you are on your own and you have to do whatever is within your power to fight this. Office of Fair Trading Guidance is full of meaningless fudges. If you read through the guidance, you'll keep seeing maybe this and could be that. It means nothing. We don't need guidance. We need proper laws which specify what is criminal behaviour and what isn't, and we need those laws to be acted upon. That's what we pay tax money to the legal system for, and it just isn't there. So you have to protect yourself. And these videos start off by assuming that you've been contacted by a debt collection agency and that you need to know how to handle the situation. You may be frightened, you may be worried, and the first step is to send any debt collection agency a letter demanding all communication in writing. And we'll cover in the 5th video the initial communication when you respond to the debt collection agency that's contacted you for the first time and what needs to be put in that communication. But part of this will be a letter prohibiting telephone harassment and prohibiting doorstep visits. Now obviously this may or may not be complied with. As we've said, enforcement is lax or in reality non-existent, but it is essential to demand all communication in writing, and that's for more than one reason. And firstly, keeping everything in writing ensures a provable communication trail for any court case, and so many debt issues will end up in a court of law, and you need to be able to prove what was said, because debt collection agencies will threaten, and they will make threats that they've got no power to carry out. They will do things which are against the law, such as asking you to borrow more money to pay them. They will do that on the telephone, but they won't do it in writing. So make sure that everything is kept in writing so you can prove the dialogue between you. And secondly, debt collection agency threat monkeys are trained to harass and bully people over the telephone. It is their most potent weapon, and you can take it away from them completely. You do not have to have any dialogue with them over the telephone. If you answer a telephone call and it happens to be a debt collection agency, there's nothing to stop you doing what British Telecom advised for any nuisance call, and just placing the receiver at the side of the telephone and then replacing it gently later. You do not have to speak, you do not have to respond to them in any way whatsoever. Another thing you can do is to refuse to answer the security questions which are usually asked. Some people do have dialogue over the telephone. Some people take the mickey, some people put them down, talk back to them. If you feel confident in doing that, then that's your choice, but there's absolutely no obligation to engage them on the telephone in any way whatsoever. As soon as you realise who it is, you can just become silent from that point. They have no power whatsoever to demand that you talk to them over a telephone line. And it's easy to make poor and even catastrophic choices in pressure situations, and keeping it all in writing gives you time to think. And when telephone threat monkeys are demanding that you do a certain thing over the telephone, it's proven time and time again that more people will give in to this. You may receive a very threatening and very nasty letter, but it still gives you time to calm down, it still gives you time to think of a coherent response, and it still gives you time to seek advice, which you cannot do in a telephone situation. So my strong advice to you would be never ever engage them on the telephone, and to just respond with silence if you ever do answer one of their nuisance calls.